Alright, hi everyone. Today I'm gonna be doing another pasta dish. This one's gonna be less kitchen sinky and more traditional, but I'm still gonna add a few things that are non-traditional. So for those of you who don't know what a carbonara pasta is a pasta that comes from Rome, I believe. It's a very simple pasta, but very, very delicious. Just a few simple ingredients. The most traditional being, or kind of the most standard maybe, is guanciale, which is pork jowl bacon. So it's a cured pork cheek or pork jowl, high fat content, very, very tasty. And then you're gonna need a few eggs and cheese. So the traditional cheese that they use is a Pecorino Romano, hence why it's from Rome. But I'm just going to be using I think this is a Grano Padano, any kind of one of these like kind of more dried Parmesan type cheeses would work. If you want to be very traditional, you can use a Pecorino Romano, but Grano Padano or a Parmigiano Reggiano would also work. So those are your basic ingredients. The traditional recipe just calls for the guanciale, pecorino romano, and black pepper and eggs. I'm going to be adding garlic and chili flakes as well as some fresh herbs. I find, although I find the dish very delicious, but also a bit heavy, so the herbs kind of help kind of cut that oily heaviness to it. But kind of up to you what you want to do. So let's start with a bit of garlic. Oh, do we have any garlic? Yeah, we have one clove left. Okay, time for some garlic shopping. Okay. Always have a sharp knife. This is a honing steel. Helps realign the metal at a molecular level. Okay, I also got a pot of hot boiling water going, heavily salted for about, I don't know, that's like a gallon and a half of water. You want like 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. We won't be adding too much salt to the dish because the guanciale is quite salty. You can add it to taste at the end. But yeah, this is a very quick pasta, so this says about 12 minutes, so I probably want to get the pasta going right about now. I'm going to be doing about 250-300 grams. It's for 2 people. My wife just came in with some herbs. So this is a 500 gram pack, so I'll be doing just over half. And because it takes about 12 minutes, I'm going to be throwing, to al dente probably around 10 minutes. I'm going to be putting it in right away because our pasta is not going to take very long. Okay, here we go. Pasta in, get my pan going. I'm going to start with my garlic. Actually, I'm going to start with my guanciale because that's going to have to render for a bit. I'm going to take off the rind from the outside. Don't want any of that. But the rest can go in. For 2 people, this is quite a bit of bacon, but we like bacon, so whatever. Right, Amy? We have a bit of the rind left. Yeah, as you can see, most of this is pretty much fat, but that's what this dish is all about. If you haven't had pork jowl yet, it is delicious. It's kind of like bacon, pork belly. Amy, is this recording?
Huh?
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to deal with that again. You want to cube these quite small. I'd say like, I don't know, half a centimeter to a centimeter, because you want it to render down pretty good.
Is this it?
Yeah. We don't have any more basil, hey? Or it's not.
Basil, actually.
Is it growing or should we wait? I don't need it today.
It is growing.
It's okay, we'll leave it for another day. This is quite hard, this section, so I'm going to take that out. So you can put your guanciale in a cold pan or starting to warm up, you want it to go low and slow because you don't want it to burn before the fat starts rendering. So always stir your pasta as soon after a minute or two. If you don't stir it near the beginning, it's going to stick to itself. The type of pasta I use is like a more traditional style. I explained it in another video, but this brand is really good, Rumo. But the way they make the pasta, the machine is like a traditional like die that the wheat is extruded from. So you get these like rough edges. I don't know if you can tell that. You can tell in the video, but it's like a rough surface. It has more starch on it. It also helps the sauce cling onto your pasta better. I really like that more traditional style rather than like the really smooth pasta. Especially when you're making this style of pasta with like a very kind of creamy sauce, it helps cling to it. Alright, garlic, I'm just gonna mince it. I'm not going to put it in yet because the guanciale takes a while and garlic burns quite easily, so I want most of that fat to render off the guanciale. In fact, sometimes I add a bit of water. Where's my ladle? When I'm rendering fat. Pasta water, it helps render it and prevents it from burning. Just to get it going a bit. Okay, so we got our garlic. The guanciale is in. Let's grate some of this grano padano. Smallest grater you have, or pretty small. Mine has a big hole on one side, small hole on the other. I'll be using the smaller one. For 2 servings, I don't know, cheese is kind of personal preference. If you like cheese, maybe like, I don't know, 50, 100 grams. I think I have about 50 grams here. I'll be doing about 50 grams. Yeah, that's good. Most of the cheesiness is going to be coming from the eggs, so you don't want to be you don't need too much cheese to make it nice and creamy. From the eggs and the pasta water. Pasta water, a key ingredient to most pastas. A lot of people don't know this, but the starch in the pasta water makes a really nice creamy sauce, which you'll see very soon. So for 2 portions, I don't know, this is also a bit of personal preference, but I'd say about an egg to an egg and a half per person. So I'll do 2 eggs. Pasta's rendering down nicely. This pepper mill sucks, so I'm going to be using my mortar. Probably about like half tablespoon of pepper. Depends how much you like that peppery flavor. I like it. My wife doesn't too much, so I'm not gonna add too much pepper. Mortar and pestle really helps crush the pepper, and you get a really nice. You get all the oils out of the pepper, so you get a nice peppery flavor rather than pre-ground pepper. A lot of the oils have kind of evaporated or dissipated, so this way you actually probably don't need as much pepper. Get that in your... That's probably a lot. Hopefully it's not too much. Looking at it now, I think we need 1 more egg, actually. So maybe 1 more egg. Stir my pasta up a bit. This is a spaghetti, by the way. I wouldn't use any kind of like penne and stuff for this type of recipe because you want that like the sauce to kind of cling to your pasta. But you can use like a fettuccine or any kind of like long, thin pasta. I wouldn't go too big either. Just personal preference, but I like a thinner pasta for this kind of dish sauce. Okay, beat your eggs really well. go. At this point, I'll add my garlic. As you can see, a lot of the fat has rendered off. Which I'll add. And then, oh yeah, I said it actually. Flakes, yeah, I like a bit of heat. Oh, it's getting smoky. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's getting nice and crispy. The guanciale. Open the window. Oil's quite hot. Also, if you notice your garlic's burning, you can add a bit of pasta water. Woo. To stop the burning. Or it's going too fast. Slow down the cooking process a bit. Alright, our pasta's probably getting pretty close. You want to cook it like just before al dente, because the pasta and the sauce are gonna finish cooking together, and you want the pasta to absorb the sauce. This is a very kind of important principle in most pasta dishes. Many people cook the pasta, cook the sauce, and then kind of pour the sauce over the pasta, but the two don't really marry together well that way. But if you finish off the pasta in the pan with the sauce, you kind of get a really nice marriage of the two, and they become one. It's kind of like homogeneous thing, and the pasta absorbs a lot of the flavor in the sauce, giving you a really nice flavor. Probably another minute. It's still quite hard inside. We don't want it too hard, but you still want that a little bit of a bite. Okay, I'm gonna get my herbs going. How I like to shave my herbs, I kind of get them in a bunch, twist them around a bit, get it really nice and tight. Nice tight ball, and then shave off the bit, and then kind of just roll my knife and shave them really nice and thin. I use the stems of most of my herbs as long as they're not really tough. They have a lot of flavor, and if you cut them small enough, you won't get any like kind of hard, chewy bits. There we go. In with my sauce. Again, this is not traditional. There usually wouldn't be any herbs, but I'm not making it traditional. Oh, my garlic probably went a little too far. And add a bit more pasta water. It's okay. It smells good. Alright, I'm done with this. Done with this. I had a paper towel somewhere. Need this and this here. Get rid of that. With that. Okay. Let's see if our pasta's ready. I think it is. I probably don't even need to taste it. Yeah. It's like a minute to two away. That's where you want to grab it. Get all your pasta in here. Alright, at this point, heat off. Add maybe like 1 or 2 ladles of pasta water. And get your egg mixture in there. If you don't turn off your heat, what's gonna happen is you're gonna cook your eggs, which is the last thing you want. You do not want to cook your eggs. You want to slowly thicken it, kind of like a custard or like a bechamel sauce or any other kind of egg cream sauce, maybe like a hollandaise sauce. So kind of off the heat, the residual heat in the pan and the pasta and everything else will cook it down. Right now you see things are separating, but as I stir and continue to mix and it warms up, you'll see it's going to become creamier and creamier. Get in there. As you can see, it's starting to get nice and creamy. Still a little bit of separation. Getting really close. I'm just going to taste for seasoning. Yeah, you don't need to add any salt to the sauce. If you get the guanciale, it's quite salty on its own. Yeah, that's good. Also, generally cheese and herbs fresh herbs you don't want to add in the sauce until the very end off the heat or very low heat, or else it's gonna separate. But so as you can see, we got this emulsion. We got this creamy sauce. If you notice it's too thick, you can just add a bit more pasta water, thin it out a bit. And then as you heat it up, it starts to thicken again. So you're kind of doing this dance between liquid and emulsion to get it nice and thick. That's kind of where I like it, so I'm going to take it off the heat. I'm going to take it out of the pan now. And, ooh, we don't have that many bowls. I'll use this one. I think we have one more. There we go. Leave it on the heat for a little longer. It's gonna thicken up. Dropped a piece of guanciale. Where is my spatula? Ugh. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this, if you have any heat, even this, like the stove's been off for like 3 minutes now, or however long, and right away it started to thicken just from that residual heat. So you gotta be really careful that you don't cook your eggs or scramble your eggs, or else this dish is kind of ruined. You want this creamy emulsion. This is probably a bit too much sauce for this much, but pasta, but we like it saucy, so I'm gonna put it all on. Well, there you have it. Kitchen sink carbonara. Not traditional, but incredibly delicious. Yep. Well, try it out.